This is Kevin Harlan with Chris Webber and Greg Anthony, our sideline reporter David Aldridge. The Chicago Bulls here to defend the home court, playing host to the Western Conference. Chris, you played against the Blazers and in Portland so many times in your career. Explain the love the city has for this terrific team.
Favorite arena to play in. I love floor seats, the lighting there. I just love playing there. I mean, the city lives and dies with the Blazers. They have crazy, die-hard fans there in Rip City. I mean, very few teams have a devoted fan base as the Blazers do.
Let's take a look at our starters for Portland. We've got Gervin. Sean Kemp is out there with Havlicek. Then it's Nash, and it's Eaton in at the 5 spot. Now, here's Nash. Mari Stoudemire missing his last shot. Nash kicks to Havlicek. High post shot, and he hits the jump shot. Havlicek's got his second basket.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting calls, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, he's a guy who can carry you for stretches, long stretches in this game. You want to get him involved early and often.
Now here's Rodman. Pass to Iverson. Pocket 6 from 13. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
Yo no sé, Rino, pero ese equipito mío se ve con un equipito contundente. Ese es un
This year in the league overall,
Macmillan.
You think you're going to get?
Well, I think there's going to be two sides. This is a copycat league, so you're going to see some teams that are going to try to speed up the play. You're going to see some teams that try to increase three-pointers and decrease their mid-range jumpers. And then reality will set in, and then they'll have to kind of get back to playing regular basketball. And for some teams, it's just straight development. How can you develop your young players and get them along with maybe some veterans who are going to be transitioned out in the middle of the year? So right now for coaches, GMs, presidents, there's a lot of optimism, but there's also a lot of prodding and self-examination to see where they will be a year from now, as opposed to putting all their eggs in this season.
And looking deeper at some postseason numbers, here's a look at the distribution of three-point and two-point shot attempts for the Trailblazers. .50 seconds left here in the opening quarter. And he gets it to go.
There's no lack of aggression on his part. When he's got the chance to score, he'll take it.
And here's Stockton. Pass to Nowitzki. And out of bounds as the Trailblazers gain possession. Some changes for Chicago. Harris is checked in for Stoudemire. Parker comes in for Rodman. And Steve Kerr is subbed in for John Stockton. Great offensive performance they're putting on.
And guys, we call that the zone because that's where they are right now. They are in a zone.
Lo que pasó fue Rino que qué maldito canatazo.
Clarkson against Iverson. The pass to Paxson. Iverson against Clarkson. Clock at 4. Fires the 3. Good on the three-point shot. Clarkson's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Clarkson against Iverson. To the middle. Here's Kerr. That's good. Great play set up by Iverson.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
That one misses. And so it's the Portland Trailblazers heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. Halfway through the first half in this one. Guys, what stands out from the Blazers so far?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
Yeah, right. Only the first quarter.
That's Jabari Parker. Kerr out there with Iverson. Then there's Harris. And it's Nowitzki at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter.
And last season, the Bulls were very perimeter-oriented on both ends of the floor. Offensively, top 10 in threes. Defensively, dead last in block shots. You can't find much better shot than that one.
Trailblazers leading by 5. Now Paxson. No points in the game yet for him. Pass to Clarkson. Shoots the 3. Hits it from three-point range. And the Bulls also had trouble last year getting to the foul line.
Well, it's because their primary scorers were largely jump shooters. I mean, very little back to the basket offense and not enough driving to make up.
Here's Harris. Portland knocking down that triple moments ago. And a chance now to look at the schedule for Chicago. On Saturday, they'll take on Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then on Monday, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks coming into town.
And for their matchup with the Celtics, it's always interesting for top teams to see how they compare to the best in the East. This will be a chance to see just what this group is made of.
Tobias Harris in his 8th season in the NBA and still just 26 years old.
Yeah, I mean, one season at Tennessee, and he has slowly but steadily improved each year. And, you know, he's gotten stronger, more consistent with his long-range shooting, and he's found his calling as one of those prototype small ball fours.
When you were playing on the road, obviously the fans would yell things and, you know, try to get under your skin. C-Webb, do you remember any instance when it really bothered you and took effect?
Maybe when I would go home and play for the Pistons, I'd see some fan in the green and white, and maybe Steve Smith, my partner, paid him to be there. But, you know, the Michigan State fans, you know, the gold blue or that type of thing. Or in Ohio, it's very funny, you know, in Ohio, if they want to boo, if they want to get the crowd pumped up, all they do is put a big Michigan M up there and the crowd will go crazy and boo. So Ohio, usually my people at Ohio State and Cleveland, they always, you know, had something to say. No, but it was more like, you know, you suck, Ohio State is the best, you know, Michigan State, you should have come here, that type of stuff. And you kind of look back, give a guy a wink, knock her down a jump shot, and put your fingers to your lips and just say, shh, you don't want to get me upset. Let's sleeping dogs lie.
That's great. Amari Stoudemire is checked in for the Bulls. Portland also making some changes. Kemp comes in for Green, and Gervin subbed in for Havlicek. Kerr, the pass to Stockton. And it's Stoudemire in the corner. Rodman kicks to Stockton. The teardrop falls in.
And Stockton almost impossible to guard in the pick and roll. When he gets a little daylight, he is always ready to pull the trigger.
Now here's Gervin. To Dunleavy, just 5 to shoot. Goes up from the top of the key. Stoudemire grabs the board.
Something affected him on this shot, and it wasn't the defense.
Stockton outside. We've got 22 seconds left now here in the second. Stoudemire outside. Johnson, the pass to Rodman. Stoudemire kicks to Stockton. Off target from outside. Gervin outside. Lays it up off the glass. Gervin's got the lead up to 11 now for the Trailblazers.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
And you see he's not worried about what's on the scoreboard. He just wants to go ham each possession.
And so it's the Portland Trailblazers holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. They've played the better game so far, but their work is far from over. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge standing by.
Hey, ¿quién eres tú? Ya se me asustaste.
Hey, Kevin, thanks. Here with Coach Terry Stotts. Coach, they've been shooting poorly. Is that good defense or bad offense?
Probably a little bit of both.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the Portland came out ready to play. Some major league offense and defense in the mix as they raced out to an 11-2 lead. By the end of the first quarter, their lead was 7. Then in quarter number 2, they actually increased their intensity to pull further out in front, finishing with a double-digit advantage at the half. Shaq, how do you think the Trailblazers were playing?
You got to like their offense efficiency. They were patient, took good shots. That was reflected in their high field goal percentage. They just need to keep playing smart in the second half and close this thing out. Don't get cute now.
And now, Kenny, let's get your opinion.
I really like.
Diamonds on my wrist, got her attention. When I pulled up in that drop top, I was worth Bentley. I heard Jermaine got me in her mentions. I am a Martian, I am not from.
And welcome back as we take you for a cruise up the Chicago River. Beautiful, beautiful Chicago, Illinois. And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. One of the stories here, George Gervin getting it done today.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, and then it wasn't all wearing up with confidence.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the floor for Portland, Havlicek is out there with Kemp. Then there's Gervin. Then it's Nash, and it's Eaton in at the center position. Here's Havlicek. Softly drops in the floater. Havlicek's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Trailblazers. Bulls trail by 13.
Well, Portland, as a franchise, they seem to be in a tough spot. I mean, they've had some bad luck with draft picks, and at the same time they've lost some free agents to other organizations. I mean, they're too talented to go full rebuild, not with their stars, but they're still missing a piece or two, really being a danger in the West. Playoff time.
Chicago calls timeout. Chris, for the Blazers, as you mentioned, you worry they'll continue to remain static in the West.
Yeah, I do, because they're too good to rebuild. And right now, you know, it seems like they're not an elite team and they're not a bad team. So how do you figure it out? And it reminds me a little bit of the Hawks about a decade ago. They were always a playoff threat, but never found that next stage. Hopefully the Blazers can shake things up to get them where they need to go.
For the Bulls, Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Stoudemire. And Kerr subbed in for Stockton. Iverson against Gervin. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Wing shot on the way. That shot off. Some solid defensive work there from Havlicek. Kemp with it. Iverson picks him up. And that one, good. Kemp's got his first points of the night.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
With shooting at such a premium in today's game, let's talk.
Yo lo que voy a hacer es que me voy a acostar y no voy a ver juegos nada, Julián, porque yo no veo asqueroso de juegos así. Yo soy un hombre, coño. Ay, Rafael, cállate. Lo que voy a hacer es que me voy a acostar y no voy a ver juegos nada, Julián, porque yo no veo asqueroso de juegos así. Yo soy un hombre, coño. Ay, Rafael, cállate.
Steph Curry's dad, he had a pretty jump shot too.
Del Curry.
That's, oh yeah. I played against Dale, and it was so quick and so the Steph shot that anytime I see Steph, I think of his dad. I used to tell Steph a couple years ago, I think your dad can still shoot better than you, but I think he's proven me wrong.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Tobias Harris is checked in for Haslett. Parker comes in for Dennis Rodman. And it's Stockton in for Kerr. Now, here is Havlicek. He's got 8. Again, the Trailblazers good for 2.
A one-man show offensively, and that's almost always good news for his team.
Stockton kicks to Nowitzki. 52 seconds left to play here in the third. Out to Parker. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side.
No, almost any player left that wide open is going to bury that shot. This is the lead. That's poor defensive.
Gervin outside, and it's Allen Iverson with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Stoudemire's checked in for Dirk Nowitzki. Clarkson, he's checked in for Portland. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Green kicks it over to Nash. Here's Clarkson. The three-pointer off the mark. And it's Parker with the ball, bringing it up for the Bulls. They trail by 14. Following this one, they get to host the Cavaliers. And that will be the middle game of this 3-game homestand. Here's Harris. Makes it off the glass. Harris has got 5 now.
But you got to respect how much Harris hustles out there. He earns every rebound he gets.
3 seconds left. He gets it up. Misses there. And so it's Portland up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. They've had such great ball movement and shot selection, and it's led to a terrific field goal percentage. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. And a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
No, it's quick decision making. You see a guy open, you can't hesitate. That's an outstanding play.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. Chicago calls timeout.
And really, whether you're up or down, it's a game of adjustments.
Well, yeah, he might have seen something he wants to exploit. We'll see what they run coming out of this.
reporter David Aldridge.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Fred Hoiberg was talking with his team during the break. He got on him. He said he's got to see more intensity. He said we've put ourselves in this hole, and we've got to work our way out of it. Show me you've got what it takes, guys.
Nowitzki is out there with Dennis Rodman. Then there's John Stockton. Then it's Stoudemire. And it's Iverson in at the 2-guard spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Bulls trail by 14. Kicks to Stockton. Back to Iverson. 6 to shoot. With some arc, and it's blocked.
And having Eaton protecting the rim, that's about the same as building a brick wall around the basket. Just nothing gets over him. What an intimidator down low.
Iverson outside. A little over a minute of the fourth quarter gone right now. Softly drops in the floater.
Oh, look at the soft touch on the teardrop.
Portland leading by 12. Here's Clarkson. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So 1 free throw coming up.
This is why you like the size in the backcourt. If you can get it. I mean, Clarkson able to take the hit and complete the play.
Gervin's checked in for Portland.
And Jordan Clarkson is a player who is looking for his shot whenever he gets the ball. Can distribute enough, but it isn't his top priority. Very dangerous when left alone outside.
Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a 3-point play. And with Clarkson as good as he is outside, Greg, he prefers to shoot off the dribble than on the catch.
Yeah, and it's why Clarkson gets labeled a high-volume, low-efficiency guy. Terrific on catch-and-shoot chances. I think if he played more towards his strengths, he could put together a career year.
And it's out of bounds as the Portland Trailblazers retain possession. There's a minute 34 left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Kemp, and it's Kemp slamming it down.
Yeah, once he gets to the rim, it's lights out. Kemp, just too much power and explosive.
Iverson against Gervin. Now here's Iverson. He's guarded closely. Here's Stockton. Releases from the wing and drills it.
And there's no doubt about this one. Playing with a lot of confidence tonight. It's a statement victory for the Trailblazers.
They really lit it up in this one. Fantastic offensive performance.
Definitely. Just simply shot the ball well. One of those games to be proud of.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
At the line of the Bulls, 2 shots.
Shooting 2.
Free throw drops for Stoudemire. Some changes for Chicago. Amir Johnson's checked in for Nowitzki. Parker comes in for Dennis Rodman. And Steve Kerr is subbed in for Allen Iverson. And so he makes both from the line. Here is Paxson. They're this close to putting it away.
Yeah, they don't need to do anything special. Just take time off the clock.
You can't pass up a shot from such short range.
40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's stolen by Stoudemire. And the dunk by Parker.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Fellas, that's just like it's supposed to work. Don't give the D a chance to set up.
And he's the consummate professional. I mean, Paxson knows his role. Obviously a knockdown shooter, but he gives great effort in everything he does on the floor.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Johnson. Rodman comes in for Jabari Parker. And Iverson's subbed in for Kerr. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They trail by 8. 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, John Havlicek.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. And that has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
He's really seemed to feed off the hostile environment he's been faced with tonight. And that's an intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. 23 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Here's Kerr. And it's Portland with the rebound. 17 points was their biggest margin. Nash against Kerr. Nash outside. So the Trailblazers win it. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And that'll do it for the first game of the NBA season. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. So long and good night, everyone.